Hey guys, my name is Seniac and welcome back to another episode of Transport Fever 2, the Netherlands edition, where we're now witnessing our brand new one of two planes now taking off from our first airport that we implemented with vast transportation connections to our brand new airport, which there's not too many connections coming to it. Now, it seems to be running pretty fine right now. I think if I actually select the plane, where's the plane gone? There's the plane right there. Select the actual line itself. The line has just now started to become profitable. And that's because now things are settling down. Passengers are traveling to and from, and we're now able to move people. But more importantly, we've now got them and given them a reason to actually travel here because we've actually got a few cities now connected up to it. Now, in today's episode, right, I want to do one more thing before next episode. Next episode, guys, we are going to reevaluate what trains we have, update them to modern vehicles, including the planes, the ships, the vehicles, and the trains. Let's not forget all the others, boys. But before I do that, there's a few things I want to kind of get set up. I just want to finalize these current towns that we have connected. I just want to finalize them a little bit more to kind of create more interconnectivity with this airport for it to make more sense with people traveling. Then I can understand what demands we have and what vehicles we're going to need in the next episode. Now, in today's episode, what I want to do is I want to create a couple of little bus routes around the towns and stuff like that to kind of, you know, collect them up a bit more, like Herenveen, if that's how you pronounce it, Herenveen. It only connects to there. I want to kind of get around the outskirts, and as this city kind of continues to grow, I want to make sure that we're also reaching all the areas with additional loops. I want to extend the two lines here going up to Harlingen. And I want to connect this little island up to our train network, which means I had plans for a little bit of a train loop. We're going to try and implement that as well. And hopefully things go to plan. So if you are enjoying the series, smash a like button down below. Subscribe if you are new so you get notified when more episodes do come out. Now, last episode, we did a lot of lines. A lot of lines connecting and crisscrossing and moving all over the place to make an interconnected train system, which is absolutely fantastic. So, before I do anything, do I need to put any more vehicles on any of the existing lines anyway? The airport? Yes, we do. So I'll manage this and I'll duplicate two more. And we'll see how we get on with that. Now, the train station here, we have a lot of people wanting to go to Amsterdam South from the airport. So we need to potentially, right, I'll add an extra 2 trains. There we go. We'll see how that gets on. And I did notice there's a lot of people waiting here as well for this line, which this is the one that goes all the way down to here, which then switches over to this line. And that is looking a little bit busy, but I have a suspicion, this line's always been busy, but I have a suspicion it's now even busier because it connects to all these areas via train, obviously very important. But this line here that ends, where does that line go? This line goes up to Haarlem, so it kind of goes like a different direction. But we might be able to kind of pick more people up if this line continues. I'm not too sure. But this is now going to also crisscross into this loop system, so you might see some people come off that line and actually go into this line instead. Who knows? It still remains to be seen. So, I'll leave all that stuff as it is for a minute. Right, and then we'll come back to it and see what's going down. So let's start with the loop then. So we have that line that ends there. I have it to kind of continue, which is going to eventually make its way down to hook up to this line here, which brings us into this big transport hub in this town there. I then had it set up where it's going to lose the left lane, which kind of currently ends here, which was going to kind of then turn to go across. But I don't know whether I should actually make it go up to and through this town, then turn there, and then the bridge goes over here. Versus the bridge going over these 3 landmasses. I feel like this one will be better. Gives me an extra town for traffic, boys. Puts us one step closer to the harbour to switch over if they really wanted to. It's entirely up to them. And it makes an easier transition to run through this town. This one's going to be the interesting one as we got to try and turn it to lead itself back. But we should have a lot of fun. It should be pretty easy. It should be pretty easy. I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'll start with the most difficult one first then. I'm thinking I actually pull it on this road there and kind of go parallel. Meaning I'll have to kind of bend the train line to turn like that. The only one I won't get connected up is this town, but we can do that via a bus anyway. Right, buildings. Passenger train station. I want 4. A 160 is fine by me. Gives me loads of space to work with. And it doesn't fully connect all the way into the city, which is fine. That's where buses come into play. So delete you. I'm going to delete that road back a little bit as well. We're going to bring you straight across to there, running straight. La-di-da. Actually, I'm going to delete this train station. I always forget. Even though it doesn't need high-speed train tracks, but I want to put high-speed train tracks on. I want to. Right, let's mimic the up. Oh, that's elevated. Oh my goodness me. It's going to be one of those days, isn't it? Right, let's just mimic what the building looks like on the opposite side. And let's quickly throw the road connection in. So if I just bring that across, run you down. I might run it a little bit closer. There we go. And if I just choke on my own words, I'll let the town do the rest when it comes to growing. So it really is on the outskirts, this. It really is on the outskirts. So it could be interesting. Also, we have the option to extend the elevated line up and over here to run down to eventually end at that station there. So that's how these guys haven't got to go all the way this way. They can also go that way. But we'll see. It could cause us some crazy issues. Actually, I don't think it would cause any issues. I think it would be perfectly fine. So stop worrying, fool. Stop worrying right now. Right, where are we going to run this next train station? A part of me is going to regret doing this, but I was going to say run it for the middle, but I might run it on the edge here. So if I pause, stuff's going to get deleted, unfortunately. I'm going to delete to there, to there, to there. Delete you, delete you. I know I've deleted half the town, but please bear with me right now. Bear with me. Going to put you directly there on the junction. And then with the road, we just get that to kind of continue. If I quickly create and add in the same building style on the opposite side. And I then want to, I'm going to delete this road here. I'm going to redo how it enters the bridge. So I reckon I pick, do you know what? I'm going to freehand this one right now. I'm going to go there. Okay, I'm going to go there. We're going to have you come into, oh, that went weird, didn't it? You go into there, and then this will bend and go into there. And then this road, I mean, what are they mainly using it for? It is to access this town. But I have a suspicion a lot of them are going to be using it to also go towards the bridge. So if I deleted you, and let's say I come off the bridge to there, bring this going down, bend that round, but also put in a direct connection there. We'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes. So if I then continue to bend this and we run that straight, that comes into there. I mean, I shouldn't really be preempting the whole city growth myself, but I'm trying to get this just to bend here to give us an alternative connection off that main, you know, drag of road. Eventually we'll have roads connecting that way, but we'll leave it like that for now. Right. That should be a lot better for them. He says. Okay, so train tracks then. I'm going to use the outer side here, and I'm going to force this myself. So that's going to bend around like that. And we continue to run you. We drop that in. So I'm going to pull that into there. Going to pull that into there. And am I able to do a crisscross here? Is that possible? Right, come on, boys. Don't play these games. It is. So that solves that. Let me do it before I forget the double switch. And then we've got to bring that around, run it straight where that then bends in. So if I run the straight section, and I reckon to about there is good. And we'll run it into the outer side, as that's a cleaner transition running down. Right, let's sort this out then. So you would run into there, there, and then little crisscross there. Double slippy slip slip goes in there. Okay, right, I'm going to have the game in play mode as well. It doesn't really matter anymore. That will run directly like this. And you run down to where we have you like that. So that's that little strip there running back and forth. Pretty much solid, mate. Very good, very good, very good. So now I need to rejig how this line completely runs into here. And it is going to change how the current train line runs in. So, okay, back into pause. I've literally said I can come out of pause mode now, but no. I'm straight back into it. So if I run this going full force forward and run that way as well, could I get away with the double slip happening here? So that would go all the way to there. That would go to there. And I'm just hoping I can do it there. I've only got to do 4 of them, haven't I? Yeah, here, 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 and here. Which does theoretically mean I can get rid of you. And then that tray line can still do what it needs to do. Very good. Here, though, is a different story altogether. Right, let me delete you. I will be able to get it in. There's no question about it. We will be able to get it in. Right, I think it starts bending around there. Where's the line? Oh, it's actually quite far away. Oh my goodness me. Right, can I do it here, though, is the question. It's such a tight squeeze. Oh, don't tell me I can do that. If I can get it on each one. Oh, that has worked out absolutely glorious. That really has. So both lines can benefit from both platforms at the station. I say both platforms. There's 4 platforms at the station right now, which is going to be a huge benefit for efficiency. So that is smooth. I can go back into play mode now. The existing train line will not be affected. So if I ran the bridge in a straight line, so if I just first work with you to there, and then work with you to there, let's just finalize this real quick. So in you go. Now I'll do the crissy-crossy just after. And then drop a double slip there. Nice. So yeah, if I just run the bridge first, going straight in a straight line. So bring it to there. We'll change the style of bridge. We'll go for this one or this one. I like this one better. And obviously we'll bring it up. Why is it not going up? Right, I get there's a bridge pillar issue here. Why is it not going up? Is the game frozen? Oh, there we go. That was weird. Really weird. Right, so we'll raise it up to here, which is fairly high. I don't think I'm a fan of how it then drops down, like kablunk. So we'll confirm that anyway. We'll confirm that. And we'll delete back to the double slippy slip slip. And then we'll do a transition as the bridge comes down. Is that looking better? It does kind of. It's a little bit more smooth. It's a little bit more smooth. So that's straight over. And I've got to bend this round to kind of then come in. So I might bend it a bit earlier. Okay. So if I delete you, delete these buildings, unfortunately. And I'm going to run parallel. To about there. Run parallel to about there. Just to get that to kind of form a line. It's not the best, but it should do. It should do. And it does mean that I am kind of capping the city's growth. Because ultimately, I'm saying you can't now expand past the train line. But they'll expand past. I'm going to be honest with you. Looks a little bit weird. So I'm going to go back to my original plan. And I think if I made it go closer to the harbour, it might benefit the harbour at some point in the future if I decide to bring trains down here. So if I was to go the long way round, so to speak. So let's say I ran that like this, okay? Now, I don't know if I need to move it a little bit more forward, but what's the... I want to bring it to about there. That's better. I like that. And it also maybe might give me a reason to connect the train station up to the harbour. Now, this here, I think we delete that to there, which then ultimately will give me a better swoop in with a higher speed to set ourselves up for the bridge. See, that's better. We can work with that a little bit more. So that connects up to the line anyway, but it doesn't finalize this little strip. Now, I feel like we might have a slight issue here. So I'm going to run a line. Actually, no, I run the line like this because I'm only going to get it to the straight part rather than run the whole thing and then have to delete everything in the middle. I like how, I mean, I can get it to share the line. That's not a problem, but I like how I've also made them not. And they've got like a dedicated separate line altogether for themselves. Right, what's the issue here? So apparently, I'm unable to build the line there. That's fine. All I gotta do is get to run here, run to there, and then these should be straightforward connecting in. Nice. Nice. Right, that already connects into there. I'm just going to connect this down into here. But the more I think about it, where are we taking these two lines? Because the middle one was going to obviously go straight down this way, and then the left one, was that going to turn? I think it was, wasn't it? Yeah, so I was going to say I could maybe move that to the middle line and have that have its own dedicated loop line. But then again, this is going to be so busy from other directions, we might as well keep it together. Right, so coming off this then, we are going to bend and go that way. Look, all these new vehicles are now unlocking as well. This is perfect timing for next episode. Right, come off you to there. And then run you off that way. Gonna run this straight. But how far do we take it? I reckon there's good enough. And then we'll swoop it. Right, from there, swoopy swoop swoop. From there, swoopy swoop swoop. And it all comes together, boys. It all comes together. So, last thing I've now got to do is, and we're going on the, I suppose it doesn't really matter what side we're going on, but I might, do you know what? We're going to switch it to the outer side now. So if I ran this in a straight line, the bridge in question is going to take place there. So run you down. Run you down, boys. I can hear the planes flying overhead. Right, what's going on with this now? There we go. Ye old Chrissy Crossy. There we go. And double switch. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, so we've got to connect it up. So I reckon we first implement the bridge. And I'm going to drop it just to there for a minute. We're going to change the bridge styling. We're going to increase the height in case we allow boats to underpass it. Straight up and over. And then we're going to have to swoop this round. So would here be adequate? A bit further back, maybe? I want it to look like a nice little swoop. That might be the one. That might be the swoop I was after. Actually, we do run in 2 lines here. So theoretically, right, you see where I'm going with this now, don't you? See, this is like the benefit of doing double lines at stations. Right, let me pause this because this is going to oof this. Because now you get this beneficial connection that you can do. Have I just deleted the road? How have I managed that? Right, there we go. And then run you through. So run you all the way up. I'm hoping these are not on 2 different elevations now. Right, we're going to have to delete the road. Unfortunately, and then redo it all. So road connection in, and we'll do our double slip method here. Which I do know it works in tight little areas because we've implemented it before. So double slips. And then I can go back into play mode now because now that train is completely fine. So running this down, it is changing its elevation ever so slightly. All right, go to there and then swoop it in. So the longer it doesn't share lines, the more efficient it technically is. In a real world scenario, you would want each line to be completely separate, but that is never the case. That's not something that kind of works in the real world. But where we can make them split, like here, means I can have 2 lines filtering in all the time. Here it gets a little bit tasty, but I am starting to question whether I should keep these 2 separate, but there is minimal trains coming in. I don't think it will be that much of an issue, because where does the line come from? It's the one that goes up to the harbour down to here. And then that one's just doing the loop. There'll be 2 loops, obviously. But that'll be doing the loop skis. Right, that loop system's in. Might not be perfect, might not be pretty. But it will do the job. So let's get all the signals now in. So you go there. I could use the auto sig mod, but I'm going to... because I'm not doing such a long line, I'll keep it simple. And it should be pretty easy. So I'm just going to set them up here as well. And yeah, they run all the way down to there. You added a new junction and you're going to add them all in. So yeah, like I said, I could use the auto signal mod, but in such a small little area, it's just easier to control it if you do it yourself. Here, actually, do you know what? I can get away with it here. So obviously we'll have one there. And let's just say I utilize this as the kind of dividing block. And it puts the last one then for us here, so that will go back that way. And I'll do one there. They might be a bit too close together, but I think we'll get away with that one. This one goes here. And you see what I mean? It's such a small little gap here. There's no point me doing auto sigs. I can just kind of quickly throw them in myself. And then we end it with, I did just before the road. Do one there. It'd be fun to see them. I don't know if do they put signals on bridges like this? It'd be kind of fun to see the, stopping and starting on the bridge. And then I'll do one last one just here and here. And then leading into there, we'll do one there as well. One there and there. I don't know if that's going to cause any issues, so I'll just quickly delete that one. And then we'll try and match these signals. So a bit of, organization in many ways. All right, there we go. That's running down to there. So that's all set up then. That loop can now rock and roll. So all I've got to do is connect up the train line to it, which I can actually get them from that that depot just there. But let me just create the loops first. So if I started here and this way around first, and then coming down, which will then go to here, and then repeat the cycle. I'm just going to make sure that we're on the correct side, though, of all of this. So let me start at number 1, where number 1, they do drive on the right-hand side, so we're going to make it go to number 4, but also can use number 3. Okay, and then over here, it goes to this is number 1, and then can also use number 2, and rolling all the way around. And it's already on the correct side, I believe, so we can also use number 2. Let me make this pink so it stands out. Coming down to here. Right, this is the tricky one, because I've made these right now be able to utilize pretty much every single platform. So if I make it use 6 and 5... I'll come back and rejig all of this, because I feel like I need to now kind of change things. Hardavik, we use 1 and 2. Right, but now let me change the other train line that comes in. So manage this line in Hardavik right now. It can't use 1 and 2. So it'll stop on there. So now it doesn't share them. It could do, but now it doesn't. For the, the ability to be able to pretty much be separate. So that could work in our favor. Maybe is the answer. Maybe. We've got line 11 there, so I'll now manage this line and say you can only go to 1 and 2. We're going to kind of keep them separate. It's maybe not the best way to go about doing it. So that will be... Oh, hello. Number 3. 3 and 4, right? Have I done that right? 3 and 4. Oh, I don't know about that one because that one's completely separate. Hold on, are they? It's because on this one they do the same as well. This is Emil. So 3 and 4. Right, why is it going though? Over onto that side. I don't quite know why it chooses to do that. It's not able to access any other platform. So on the way back from Zoe to Emil here, I'm going to make it... You can't use one of these, can you? I've forced it to kind of go in there. I don't know how that's going to play out. I'm not too sure. Time will tell. Time will tell. Anywho, I don't know, because I like the idea of keeping them on that one side okay and then coming back out the other way okay. Because I'm only going to do the same thing them leading back on this one. Oh, I feel like I've messed this up. Right, let me get rid of you. So going to Emil here, we use 1 and 2 instead of them ones. And then coming back is a different story. So on the way, add station and hard code it to utilize this route. On the way back, use that one. So it sticks on this side of the tracks and then just splits and shares the different platforms there. Here is a different story, but I've divided it. We'll see if that works out in the long run. Anyway, enough jibber jabber. Let's now go the opposite way. So for us here, we'll be starting on... See, this is now the other problem. It's like, which one do I now choose? Which one do I now choose, boys? This is why we should get them to utilize all of them. So we're going to make it utilize the middle one. That's what I'll do. So that'll be 3 and 4. And then coming in here will be 3 and 4. Let me make this go like bright pink. So on the way, use that stop. And then coming in over here, 4 and 3. Go this way. It'll be 1 and 2. Making us way all the way around. Hardervik, which will be 4 and 3. And that will continue going all the way around back to over here, where it then is really wanting... Oh, no, yeah, that is correct. I've got it to run on that line to keep it separate from that line. Even I got confused then for a second. So I think, I could be wrong, but I think that now might be all set up. Right. Let me now buy some vehicles. So we're utilizing the electric... We've been utilizing the metro liners, haven't we? I don't know if they're the trains that I've been using. Oh, no, they're for the elevated I've been using. What have I been using for these? So I've been utilizing my own variations of them. So we'll manage the vehicle. I'll pause. I'll duplicate. Right. And then now that is now been created, I'm going to put that online. $12 and $13 are the newly created ones. So 12. Oh, snap. It's come out of there. Right. Manage the vehicle. Sal. Wait, have I just sold the right vehicle? I think I might have just sold the wrong vehicle. I'm an idiot. I've just sold the train. Wait, what train? Wait. Wait, what? What train did I just sell? I don't know what I've just sold. That's bad news. Right, anyway, let me just have the same train, just for the sake of it. Because next episode, like I said, we are going to upgrade all the trains. I'm not sure which carriage I was using. It wasn't that one because it doesn't get me to a 160 capacity. I think it might be this one. Nope. Is it the other green one? Is it this one? Yes. So let me buy 4 of them. I'm going to put 2 on line 12. The other 2 on line 13. All right, press play. They'll now come out and they'll now do their magic. So, all of a sudden, these towns here now have connections. Simple loop going back and forwards. We've got it both in directions, so it hopefully, theoretically, it shouldn't overload one area more than the other. What is this here? Wait, where are you going? Have you been caught up on the wrong line? How has that train managed to make its way around there? Oh, I don't know. I don't actually know what is going on anymore. I really don't. I really, really don't. Oh my goodness me. What a shambles. Now, do I extend this line coming into it, the elevated section, to kind of help us out? It would be quite beneficial, and I think we could also benefit from 2 stops, because this is so far away. So if I was to build an elevated train station, and what are we doing? We're only doing 1s, aren't we? So 2 tracks. Spin it right round. Get it perfectly aligned. So if I was to drop it with an overhang, obviously, about there, and that will run down, but I've got to make it go down to there. So would it make beneficial sense to maybe run one this way? Just to there? And have a diagonal? Or what if I really shorten the... What if I really shortened it like that? Because that stop... Actually, let me put a connection on the ground first with this stop. So elevated passenger... Where would this make the most sense? If I put one there, I would need you. That connects at the back. Put you there, it would need you. Okay, it already connects anyway. That's a decent connection versus this connection. So it does get a wide selection of people. And then can I connect this one up? This is probably the most awkward elevated section I've built to date. Right, we don't fully connect over to that side. Luckily for us, it doesn't matter. Right, put you there. Luckily for us, it doesn't matter. Because I only need one connection down to the train station, because that's where they're going to transfer over, and only there. So, if I was to then run a direct line to here, we can see how much this is going to destroy. So I think I need to elevate or continue to elevate this. And this is going to be my next issue now. Is getting this. So I'm going to try and do it where we only technically destroyed the one building. And does that stay at the same height? It does. And theoretically, this should be able to then run straight like that without the destruction of many buildings. And if I was to then go a direct connection here, that then doesn't delete anything. Wow, that is so janky, isn't it? It really is. Alright, up and over. So do I go for pillars? Yes. Looks nice. It would look weird floating over this section. So it does make sense there. We'll then sort out our Chrissy Crossies, which I'm hoping... Oh, no, we don't need to do Chrissy Crossies there. Only on the very last section here. So if I pause, the Chrissy Crossies here can now be oofed, but it will cause problems there. And how many lines? Oh, no. We get 2 lines that come into here. I just realized that. Right. So Hilversum Annex is here. I'm trying to figure out right now what is the better side. Let me just make our way over here first. So it ends at the Almere transfer, then goes back the opposite way. I think that's now correct. And then Hilversum branch. Is that on the wrong section this whole time? And the next one over here. You know, where's that one going? It's over here, isn't it? Yeah. I think it might be. And then the sidings. Right, somewhere along here, this is kind of technically now messed up. So if I change this to purple so it stands out. So Upper Almere, which is... Where's Upper Almere? Oh, here. Upper Almere. Are you on the wrong side? You are. Right, there we go. That's now sorted. And Almere transfer is where it switches round, and then this sidings over here is where it does it as well. So that is now fixed. Okay, that line is now fixed, done, nailed it. The other line, boys. Hilversum Annex right now. So Hilversum Annex, which is here, it only does the one side, which coming in would be that side. So then it would add station. And then back again. So it gets into the transfer here, which can utilize both sides. And then coming back out, we need to be on the opposite side leading out. Opposite side leading out. Opposite side leading out. Yeah, this is all broken on this, isn't it? Opposite side. That's crissy-crossy there. So we've got an issue with the Hilversum Annex to Upper Almere. Something's not right here. Ah, it's because they can share the lines. And then that should now fix that issue. And the elevated run now extends over for another connection. So all of a sudden right now, this little island's more connected than it ever once was. Fantastic, boys. Fantastic. Okay, so let me quickly sort out then a couple of little bus routes. So we're gonna simply, and it's gonna pain us a little bit, but delete this road here. And we're gonna run this road going all the way down. As that's our marker road. And we're going to create a little bit of a loop going around here then. So the train station is quite central to this town. We want to make sure that we are on top of things. So road-wise, we are going to sort out the buildings. I could do trams. Trams is also a good way to kind of do it as well. So bus and tram stop. And I think we'll do a stop there and there. I'll do a stop there and there. And I'll also do a stop there and there on this side. Running up, I'll do a stop there and there. There and there. There and there. And then we'll go there and there, leading down. So it should pretty much create us a decent loop. I've got to name all these lines as well, by the way. Which I'm yet to do. And then do a new line going back the opposite way. Which should theoretically be on the opposite side, which it is. And then we now just upgrade it to be tram track road. Alright, fairly easy. Fairly easy, boys. And then buildings, wrong building type, tram depot road. Which, could I squeeze it? Okay, I can't squeeze it in there. I'll squeeze it in just just here for the funsies. Right, so we need to buy some trams. And looking at capacity, 35 capacity. You can't argue with that, right? I'll buy 6. 1, 2, 3 on line 14, line 50. As simple as that was, again, I've got to rename them. Don't worry, I'll do it before next episode. I've got a nice little loop system set up here. Large capacity. This town is going to truly benefit from the connections. It really is. Really, really is right now. Right, I've got the trains doing my loops. I do. Trains coming into here, which is perfect. We'll sort out all the capacities in the next episode anyway. That should be fairly easy to get done. And I did want to extend it to there. I'm going to leave that end point for now because I might do that when we look towards maybe connecting up these smaller towns on these little islands. We can kind of like build a harbour there and bring them all in. So I want to build the harbour integrated with the train station. So that would be kind of like a cool idea. It really would. How are we looking over here anyway? Is there lots of goods? Yeah, we really need to next episode then, boys, change our vehicles and add higher capacities. Right, how's the airport line doing at the minute? Finances, making tons of cash, which is great. Things are working. It's working, it's all coming together, and that loop is beautiful. So yeah, we just got to keep focusing and making sure that we've got the towns connected up with their transportation loops. So let's look at this town over here right now, Emmelord. We're looking at doing streets first. Connect up where we can connect up. Will that run through? It will. Run you down. And that should create us a nice looking loop. I'm going to delete this, this, and this. So I can run that like that, just so I can very selfishly build my transportation connection. So we're going to run it directly to the line here. Okay. And then we'll do one at the end there and there. And I'll do one on this one just there and there. It's completely fine. Another one up here and here. We'll do one there and there. One there and there. One there and there. Now I'll do another one just there and there. And then we'll make the road just connect in. So quickly upgrade the tram track lines. Just an outer loop to bring them to my inner loop, and that inner loop being the train line. That's how we're going to treat it. So another new line I'm going to create without naming it. Oh, these stops are pretty close together on that side, aren't they? Okay, maybe I didn't take that into account. New line. And let's double check we are on the correct sides, which we are. Very good, very good. And then we need to implement a tram depot. Oh, it's a shame I couldn't squeeze. Oh, I can squeeze it in just there, which will kind of save me a bit of dead space. And then by these, we'll get 6. So 1, 2, 3 on line. 16 on line. 17 implemented. Right. Gucci. Very good, very good, very good, very good. Okay, what other city would quickly benefit from an easy setup? This one over here. These ones are a bit awkward kind of systems at the moment. That train line mainly reaches everything. Right, we'll do this last one over here. So let me just sort out the roads going around. And we'll bring it... Oh, hello. There we go. Oh, really? That's going to be crooked like that? Why is that? It's because it bends at the last minute? It actually does, doesn't it? Let me delete you. Run you down. And then we'll connect all of these up. Oh, it's so awkwardly crooked. Right, here's what it is. If that's how the town wants to grow, that's how the town wants to grow. Who am I to decide how the town wants to grow itself? Right, put that there for another easy crossing. And I think that's as far as I'm going to take it. This town's actually pretty big. It really is. So let me implement a street connection here. And I'm wondering if it would make sense to maybe, yeah, implement the stops over this side so it kind of gives them a wider radius. They can still do a walk to the station. It's not the end of the world for them. There and there. Do I need another one anywhere? I think we're okay. So a couple of them do already touch the train station, so theoretically they can just short walk. Not the end of the world. Right, tools, upgrade the roads. It's more mainly to trick the game into thinking there's more connections on our public transportation line than there actually is. And it does do a great job in doing so. Right, buildings, tram. Can I again squeeze it in the dead space? You know what, I'll sacrifice that one building. Oh no, I can do it there. That worked out even better. Right, buy again. 6 of these puppies. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I didn't create the lines. I thought I did that one pretty quick. I thought I did. New line. Alright, both on opposite sides. Great. Line 18. Line 19. Right, that's 3 cities right now implemented with a tram system. Let's just see how they get along first before anything else. We have a large group of people here wanting to be transported, so it might be a case of, or a good idea to duplicate the capacity by duplicating the trains. Granted, next episode we are going to take a look at changing the trains anyway. That will be a huge benefit. But I'm also thinking as well, we could maybe build a harbour around here, one of these little towns that can like ship people using our other harbours. Could be a benefit. Could be a benefit right now. Right. This is pretty good. So we've got quite a large interconnectivity going on. We need more planes by the looks of it. And that will get solved very easily by having bigger planes. Again, it's all next episode stuff, boys, as we increase our capacity. So implementing that loop right now is huge. It creates more connections. Cities are slowly merging into one another. And pretty much creating this huge metro area. This is starting to get pretty big, isn't it? It really is. It really is. So it'll be interesting to see how things change, how the demand for, especially this line as it's now connected to the loop, it'll be interesting to see how the demand for that changes. Because, like, if you look at timescale over the years, it's been pretty consistent. So is that spike there the normal spike, or is that going to be the new normal with the amount of people we can now transfer? But then again, they can switch here and jump on the elevated line. So we'll see. Trains coming in and out right now. Everything's looking glorious. Big connections. But what it is, are cities saying? So in the grand scheme of it then, in terms of city size, Amsterdam is the biggest. Then it's Haarlem. Do you know what? I was such an advocate right now for trying to grow Rotterdam to being the second biggest city. It's now jumped down to 4th. Den Haag has taken over. Now, could you argue I haven't really given Rotterdam the full push, the full love that it deserves? Yes. Could you argue it's because also it has that river which stops the city growth? Yes. If we take a look at my India series, Nemba New Delhi with the big river, hindered it. Whereas Amsterdam is able to grow as big with a river, but I think they've had the hindsight of being worked on since the start of the series, so they've had more time to actually work and grow. Den Haag is now going to rival, by the looks of it, Haarlem at some point. The problem with Haarlem is they're trapped in by other towns around them, so that hinders their growth. Den Haag's got, you could argue, Leiden as well, but they've got all this room around here to grow. So keep your eyes out on Den Haag, boys. My outskirts tram system is now in a city. That's how much it's grown. And same with the train station as well. It's, you know, meant to be on the edge. It's now almost in the center. Very interesting. Very interesting. But we'll end it here anyway, boys. And next episode, we'll plan the mass expansion. So in terms of revenue, we are doing pretty well. We've had a record income year at nearly $1 billion. Are we yet to cross $1 billion in income in a single year? Yes, we are. Wow. We actually might get that next episode as I upgrade all the train to higher capacities. Obviously, it then means we make more money. We could see that in the next episode. That's going to be absolutely crazy. Guys, we'll leave it over here. I hope you did enjoy this episode. If you did, please smash the like button down below. And until next time, I'll see you all soon. So, goodbye.